Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell, I'm in a completely different setting today. I have gone home for the holidays, so I am now in my childhood bedroom, and I am here to do something super crazy and outside of my comfort zone. So as you can see from the title, I am doing a book unhaul, but this is unlike any book unhaul I've ever done. I would say that I unhaul books pretty regularly. In my bookshelves back home in Minnesota, I do a bunch of clean outs every month, just donating books to little libraries, selling them at my local indie, and buying new books from here and there because it's obviously new releases and I get sent books from publishers. So I would say there's a very circular system to the way I keep books and keep up my book collection. But here in my childhood home, I don't come back home as often as I want to, so I really never have had the time to, look through my bookshelves and actually ask myself, Marie Kondo myself and be like, does this really spark joy anymore? Do I still want to keep this book, even though it's been almost 5 years since I've actively used this bookshelf? So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be looking through all of the books on this bookshelf behind me here that takes up the span of my wall, and I'm going to ask myself if I want to keep them. The goal of this is to hopefully, honestly, get an entire bookshelf emptied. One thing I want to do in the future is, now that I currently permanently live in Minnesota, I do want to move my book collection to there. So if I'm shipping books, I don't really want to ship all of these books here, especially because I know some of them I just haven't read or never want to read, or books that I just didn't enjoy and want to get rid of somehow. So that's the goal for today, is to create a sizable collection of books that I can bring back with me to Minnesota, while also clearing out these bookshelves because I no longer live here anymore, so I feel like they don't really have to take up space. So yeah, if you're interested in watching that, this is going to be a fun process. I've actually never done this, but I really love talking through my choices. For some reason, for me, it validates myself, but also, allows me to have a safe space to talk about, why I want to do things and talk really about intention. So if you would like to stay, grab a cup of coffee, open up your computer or whatever, and we can have a little chit chat while you have me on in the background. I'm going to be speeding up most of the process, obviously, because there's a lot of books here, but I will also be pausing a lot to kind of talk about the choices of why I am getting rid of certain books, and why not. Most of them I'm not going to talk about just because I feel like this video would take forever to film. But yeah, I'm really excited for this process. And so those shelves you see behind me, this is my main bookshelves. It takes up the entire wall, and then I have one more hanging bookshelf on top of my dresser, and that holds most of my arcs. So it's safe to safe to say that I'm going to be getting rid of most of those just because I really don't have a purpose for arcs anymore. But I will tackle those another day, just not today. Today we're focused on these behind me. So let's get into the video. So we obviously have to do a little before and after. This is the before video. I have my bookshelves. They're just 3 IKEA bookshelves with one skinnier one in the middle. And it's kind of, I would say it's pretty full. I think every single inch is kind of covered in a book, and it's shoved in between. There are also some books that are outside of their actual place and sitting on the side of the shelf. I've got my brown bags here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need more bags for these books, but let's just get into it. Alright, so we're going to start out with this side of my shelves, and this is about how many books I want to get rid of. So an entire shelf I want to be cleared. So in organizing my books, I didn't really have a rhythm or rhyme. I kind of did a little bit of genre at this side, and then I did rainbow shelves on the other side, as you can see from the main photo. But again, I'm not that picky about how my books are organized. So yeah, this will be interesting. So I'm going to start here. I think this top though is definitely fantasy and organized by series, just because I wanted to keep my fantasy books together because they were a lot larger, so I thought that they would be weird if I just organized everything by color. But okay, I'm gonna tackle these first. Alright, first book going in the bag. Okay, so I am debating whether or not I should get rid of this because I really enjoyed Heartless. This is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. It is the paperback version. And I do admit I have multiple copies of books that I probably don't need. And I think I'm just going to keep the hardback version of Heartless because I have that here and donate the paperback version because I think I also was sent this one, so I don't feel too bad just because I didn't buy it. I feel like I have a bigger stake with books that I buy myself, mostly because like obviously it's my money, so I'm like maybe I should keep it, you know, because I bought it and I can't get a return on that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna donate this paperback. Also, I literally have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this. I definitely am not going to donate it because I did spend a lot of money on these. But if you can see, these are the Game of Thrones books that I bought a while ago just because I had finished like the TV show and I really enjoyed it. And I read the first 3 books, but then I just never picked up the series again, and I don't think it's something I will pick up. But I definitely think I should keep these because they do kind of spark joy, you know, a little bit, but also just sentimental value in terms of like there was a time when I was reading this series pretty diligently. Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I think I'm gonna keep these for sure. Unfortunately, I'm going to be getting rid of my B.E. Schwab books, the Darker Shade of Magic, the Shades of Magic series. I just didn't like them as much as everyone else did. And another thing about this process that is just making it so difficult and I'm like so annoyed is that I posted my books a lot of the time, so I'm gonna have to go in and remove all of the post-its because I would usually keep it and then just put it in a little library, but I used to write really embarrassing things when I was younger, like sexy time or like all this stuff or like cursing and stuff. So I feel like they're just like unsolicited comments from books. Like this post-it literally says sexy Kel, which if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. Alright everyone, I think it's time to say goodbye to the Divergent collection series. It's been a good run. It's been a good run. I'm unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed the movies, the Divergent movies, and I actually really loved the books. The books made me like unreasonably emotional when I was like, I think I read these when I was 16, but I think it's time to say goodbye. I think it is time to put some distance between me and my old self and actually donate these, which I'm really sad about because like I have the Insurgent Collector's Edition, so So I have the Lunar Chronicles series here, and again, when we have this conversation of like old YA series that I am like emotionally attached to, I think Divergent was definitely one of those that I want to get rid of. It didn't really, I mean, I liked it as a kid, but like did it leave an emotional impact on me? Not really. But the Lunar Chronicles did, because I remember like reading about these really diverse characters in a book for the first time in like a fantasy series that was like really popular. So I think I'm gonna keep the Lunar Chronicles because I have like a connection to it. Also, these books are just so good. Like if you have not read the Lunar Chronicles series, like what are you doing? Like go purchase these books and read them because they're just like so freaking good. Honestly, like I want to do a reread, honestly, of maybe, because like when Winter came out, that book, I just like literally like sat down and like read that in a day. It was so good. Also, I just realized that I'm allergic to dust, and this process is like not helping my allergies. Like I've been sneezing and coughing, so that's great, but I mean we have to sacrifice some things to clean your books. Alright, another YA series that there is a lot of, like, you know, this was super popular back in my day, but To All the Boys I've Loved Before, I think I'm gonna keep the first one because the first one actually has sentimental value, but I really hated these two. Hot take, but I really just didn't like them, and I do want to keep it just because of, like, the movies. Yeah, they were really good, and I really like Jenny Han's, like, movies or adaptations, so I'm gonna keep the first one, but I think I'm gonna donate these two because I didn't enjoy them as much, so yeah. Okay, I had to zoom in to show you guys this, but this is my beautiful Bone Season series collection. This is my favorite fantasy series of all time. It is I Will Die on This Hill. I have, like, ARC copies of certain books, all the paperback copies, all the existing hardback copies. This is, like, Samantha Shannon's 7-book fantasy series. I also have this really cool pamphlet inspired by the book, which is just so cute, and I also have this, like, rock that I painted with one of the symbols. Yeah. Suffice it to say, I'm obsessed with this series. You should definitely go read it. I will definitely not be throwing that out, but it's just really cool to see that I have multiple copies, so. Oh my god, I'm literally gonna break my back. So this is a prime example of one of the books that I do not want to get rid of because I spent a lot of money on this. This is the Hans Christian Andersen Fairy Tales, but it's like a really nice Penguin Classic edition, and I have not read this. I don't really plan to, or maybe I will here and there, but I just really want to keep it because of how beautiful this copy is. It has deckled edges too, and I just spent a lot of money on it, so I think I'm gonna keep. I think I deserve to keep it. Okay, so I finished cleaning off this shelf and I put most of the books down here. I think I'm going to tackle a little bit of this, or just, like, kind of look here and there about, it's kind of a free-for-all. I'm not really going to go shelf by shelf, only because I just have, like, no room to put any of this in my room. So I think I'm just going to look here and there and pick out some titles that I do not want to keep anymore. So let me do that. Alright, I knew I would have to tackle this eventually. Oh my god, these books are so heavy. But I cannot donate these books. And I want to, but I just can't. And I don't know what to do. This is my Sarah J. Maas collection when I was a Sarah J. Maas fan. I am no longer a Sarah J. Maas fan just because of some things that the author has said and that don't align with, like, what I think, but also just because I am kind of, like, again, through with this, like, era of my life reading these books. If you know what I'm talking about the Throne of Glass and the Court of Thorns and Roses series. But the reason why I'm not gonna be donating these books is because they're all personalized to me. I did in fact meet Sarah J. Maas, and all of these copies plus A Court of Mist and Fury, which is on the floor, are personalized and signed to me, so that is one reason why I will not be donating them, but I do not want them in my collection anymore, but I also don't know what to do, so if your name is Alex, then maybe these belong to you. Okay, this is where I'm at almost an hour later. I have finished this whole shelf, and I feel like I'm just not going to do the same thing with these two, like go through every single book, but rather just pick out some things that, like, stand out as, like, oh my god, I'm never going to read, because I feel like I do have that sense a lot of the time. I just opened my window because I'm absolutely, like, drenched in sweat, but yeah, I'm going to do that because I feel like I know which books, like, I'm easily getting rid of. Like, I don't really have to be as introspective. I think this side was more of an issue because it had all of my, like, old YA series that were, like, sentimental to me, whereas these books, a lot of them were, like, sent to me, or a lot of these are unread. Like, that's all I can say. A lot of the books on my shelves are unread. I would say majority are unread compared to books that I have read, but I think I kept a good chunk. These are all the books from that side that I'm keeping, and then these are all the books that I'm getting rid of, which I won't go one by one, but I will go through later because I'm going to take out all the post-its in the book. I just decided that I'm going to do that later. But yeah, these are all the books that I'm keeping. A lot of them are series, and then I realized that a lot of the books that I actually gave away are books that I haven't read yet and won't read, or books that I read and I didn't really enjoy. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go in and pick like titles one by one instead of or pick titles that look like, you know, stand out to me instead of going one by one, and that's the plan for the rest of the day. And then I'm just gonna like reorganize everything and clean my shelves because I am like I literally feel horrible, like I'm like sneezing and I'm congested, and that's because of my allergies. So yeah. So while looking through my shelves, I found this. It is, I don't know if this is like limited edition or something, or I don't know where I got this copy, but it's a really pretty version of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. What's super interesting is that I've actually never read The Hunger Games, so I don't know why this is on my shelf, but I don't want to throw this out because this is like the most gorgeous copy of a book I have ever seen in my life. And again, I don't know where I got this from. It says thehungergames.co.uk, so I know this is a UK copy, but I can't remember like where I would have gotten a UK copy of this book, and I definitely knew that it was probably the case that if I bought it, it was probably because I went to like a bookstore and like thought it was really pretty and just wanted to buy it, but I will definitely be keeping this. See, I've also debated on whether or not I should get rid of my Shadow and Bone series because I did not really like the Shadow and Bone series. I'm definitely more of a Six of Crows fan. I actually have like limited edition copies and like collector's editions of the Six of Crow books and like Crooked Kingdom, but I'm not really a Shadow and Bone fan, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this box set yet. This is like the new covers box set, and then this is just like the original cover. I think I'm gonna put them in the keep side for now, just because I still want to do a little bit more content. Like with season 2 coming out, I kind of want to film a little bit of content for like TikTok and everything, and I think that would be really cool, so I'm gonna keep it for that. But I don't know if it's like a series that has like sentimental value to me. We'll see. A lot to debate here. I'm still, again, like, just because I kept something doesn't mean I can't donate it in the future, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as well. Okay, little update. That actually went a lot faster than I expected. I think it's just because I kind of had an idea of what books I wanted to get off my shelf and which books I wanted to keep anyway, so it just went super fast. Like when I had the bags out, I was just picking off books and I'm like, time to go, time to go. And I'm actually really happy with kind of what's left on my shelf. Like as I'm looking at it, I feel like definitely the books that I have left on my shelf are mostly the read ones, that's for sure, and because I think I kept less books that I haven't read but I think I'm gonna read, just because again most of my books that I like have recently bought or have priority are in Minnesota on my like bookshelf at home. Whereas these books are like, they've been sitting unread for like many years, if you understand. Like a lot of these books that I see here have sat unread. Like this book right here I got in like 2015 and I still haven't read it, and it's like on my shelf and I still want to read it, but it's definitely not like priority, if that makes any sense. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go through the books that I have chosen to donate, and I think I'm gonna like pick off the post-its and get those ready for donation. I honestly think I'm just gonna go to drop some off at little libraries. We don't really have many here in New York, but we do have some like 2 hours like upstate in like different areas. I don't know, I'll have to find it, and again maybe I can donate to some libraries. I have to look into that. I don't know, it's kind of overwhelming because I think I've given how many bags? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bags of books that I'm thinking of donating, so I really have to find a place for them, and I think I'm keeping a good chunk of books here, and I'm gonna reorganize my bookshelves a little bit because I want to have a new space for everything. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right now, and I kind of like regret starting this process just because I don't want to reorganize them right now, so I'm gonna deal with that. Shout out to my neighbor for sending me over a peppermint mocha. She is such a fucking queen. I needed this so much. I needed this caffeine because I finished the shelves. So as you can see here, it's kind of chaotic. Sorry, this vlog has just been so chaotic. It wouldn't be an Alex vlog without chaos. So I kept the color organization just because I really like the look of it. But I moved my series to the middle and this top shelf, and then like those are just miscellaneous books. And then yes, there are shoes in the bookshelves. Please do not judge. I do not live here anymore, so I obviously have to give up some space, and I just let my sister do whatever she wants with it, and she has a bunch of shoes, so she decided to put her shoes in there. So these are the bags that I ended up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's one more outside, so there's 8 bags of books. But I'm actually going to get ready because my neighbors are actually going to come over and look through the books that I have packed away and see if they want any. That's a great tip. I always get asked like, how do I get rid of my books? And it's really easy in Minnesota because we have little free libraries basically on every like street or every other street in St. Paul. I believe the headquarters of Little Free Library is there, so that's kind of where they like started. So it's really not hard to donate books when I'm back in Minnesota, but in New York, yes, it can be quite hard. Sorry, my bangs are a mess. I've just been sweating all day. It can be quite hard to find a place for all of these books. One thing that I really love to do is I love to like contact my local library, see if they want any of these titles. A lot of them are old, yes, but they could always use like multiple copies of books to lend out. I will check indie bookstores because some of them actually like buy books. The goal is obviously for me not to get any profit out of them. I didn't like, you know, organize my bookshelves and Unhaul for the sake of getting money back. I just wanted to like get them out of there to prioritize books that I needed to read. But that's one option. I know a lot of people have been selling on Pongo. And that's a great option too, but I just don't want to deal with shipping and like doing that kind of business, so I'm not going to sell my books that way. But I am going to just invite a bunch of friends over so that we can have like a book trading party. That's what I actually really love to do. And this is like the most books I've ever unhauled, so yes, it might take a little bit longer to get rid of them, but usually when I have a small amount of books, that's kind of how I deal with it. So just wanted to put that out there, but I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. I'm tired, I'm sweating, I'm tired, my back is hurting because like I just like have been like hunched over, and also my allergies have been so bad because there's just like a ton of dust in this room. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did, it was kind of chaotic, but I hope you kind of like this more real content of me just like getting my life together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.